This is Robert Forsch with the YouTube channel Truth. We've got a pretty exciting announcement to make today. There's a baller challenge that Eric Dubé and Jay DeCasby have made. It's actually $50,000 to anybody that can prove the globe. And the details of that are on my liked video playlist. You can see that if you care to. It's I would love to be able to add $2.3 trillion to that, the amount that went missing or announced missing on September 10th of 2001. Of course, we didn't hear much of the missing $2.3 trillion after the events of 9/11, 2001. One of the things that I've been doing day in, day out for years now is basically putting my life on the line. It's what I can bring to the discussion. That's what I'll do. Day in, day out, help you to see the reality of the world that we live in. Because I believe it matters for eternity. It's a big deal. This is the Russell Burgess Coastal Preserve in South Carolina. Just on the other side of the buildings there, that's the Prince Resort right over there, is the open ocean. I'll be taking us on by there in a little bit. As far as globe earth proof, where are you going to find it? Well, good luck with that. It's hard to find actual it's hard to find actual factual evidence for the globe because our day-to-day observations, once we know what the shape of the earth actually is, the truth of it, it all makes perfect sense. The tide will be coming in for several more hours, actually about 4 more hours now, and the water is seeking its level. That's what it does all over the face of the earth. I can't even tell if I've actually got a live broadcast right now. It doesn't look like it. I don't have anybody there. Yep. So for whatever reason, my live broadcast didn't take. So I've got to shut my phone down, and that's what I'll do. And I'll have to restart it. I'll keep the P1000 going now, and I'll have to go ahead and restart or try to start the broadcast. I don't know why that happened. Stranger things have happened before. Yeah, what I need to do is go through a few of my settings now that I restarted my phone and have it set up so I'm not going to be disturbed by an incoming call or a wireless signal interrupting. So I'll see if I can get it going again. Alright, good morning. This is Robert Forsch with YouTube channel Truth. I wanted to go ahead and make an announcement today. There's actually pretty exciting news in the Flat Earth community today. The Baller Challenge by Eric Dubé and Jay DeCasby. I've put it at the top of my liked video playlist. You can see that. Hey, Alfie, great to see you. The Baller Challenge is basically an offer of $50,000 to prove to prove the globe. Basically, he goes through all the details and announces that on his live or on his video. You can check that out. What I'm going to do right now is zoom in with the P1000 on the reflection of the building there. Whenever the band of the building, the white band around the side of the building shows up, it means it's extremely calm. Okay, so the sun just appeared right over here. And what I'm going to do is just hold it in place and let you see how it moves. So the sun is actually what's moving. The Earth is stationary. You can hashtag stationary Earth, hashtag water seeks level. That's what it does. The water seeks level. The Earth doesn't move. It's a stationary plane, basically. So this morning the tide will be coming in. Some of this is a repeat for the P1000 broadcast. I had a false start of my live broadcast. And since the tide is coming in, what I want to draw your attention to is how it's going to cover up all the little bits of the bottom of the coastal preserve. How it'll cover that up. That's part of the evidence there. Zoomed in now, it's easy to see the current moving. So in the summer months, the sun is going to come up from this vantage point in the middle of the view there, and of course today it's way over here. And in the winter, it comes up in the middle of the view there, behind that building, right in the middle of the shot there. That's why I say, do you feel yourself spinning, wobbling, or gyrating? No, the Earth doesn't move. So, empirical hard evidence, repeatable observations go pretty much like this. The movement of the Earth has never been the movement of the Earth has never been proven. Just so you know. And supposed imagery from space doesn't indicate truth. It indicates powerful deception. Now, one of the things that I would like you to consider is that the people in charge of creating the money out of thin air can not only buy the stuff that they want, they buy the influence that they want over the rest of humanity through the drugging of humanity with deceptive programming in all its forms. Radio, TV, video games, and also the computers as well, what comes through the computers. Now, one of the other things that they do is with their political power, they're making the pharmaceutical companies basically immune from litigation. So they're drugging humanity and with impunity. It's reckless. And I've spent about 3 years out here showing the beauty of this area. Many hours, thousands of hours of effort compiled to compile video and photo evidence of the world that we live in. And this is a pretty special place in South Carolina because by the time the waves break on the beach and work their way back through the coastal preserve, it gets pretty calm. You know, there's current we can see flowing. We can't see what's under the water. There has been a 8-foot bull shark captured here. It was a catch and release after he cut the head off. Good idea because bull shark can kill a person. There was a software and business consultant from Colorado visiting here. I met him out at the point, and he said, "How come people aren't swimming out here right now?" I said, "Well, it's feeding time and there's shark in the water." And he didn't want to hear anything else that I had to say about the reality of the world that we live in. And I said, "Well, Todd, don't you think it's important if you're going to make decisions to base it on truth and what's reality?" Pride is a powerful catalyst for deception. Very few people that I've met will admit that they've been deceived. I'm one of them that admits not only was I deceived, I was self-deceived also. By irony and paradox, the deceived are unaware of their situation. Yeah, pride will cause the individual to think, "Yep, I got a good bead on things. Got it figured out." Now, there's a lot of discussion on the local sun, as far as how far is the sun away from the earth. The evidence that I've compiled indicates that it looks like the sun is in the midst of the clouds. And what I say about that is what Scripture says. The Bible says that the sun is in the midst of the clouds. Now, to me, it really looks like that sun is in front of those clouds that are appearing above and behind it. I've got better evidence of it than that on other videos that I've shot here from this location. I've got over 2,000 videos, 1,000 of them I've shot myself. So in Joshua 10, what God's Word says is that for Joshua to have victory in the battle he was in, God stopped the sun from moving to give him more daylight for longer, and he had victory in that. So I'm going to zoom in on a couple of birds that are standing on a very little sliver of sand there. And what happens pretty typically is a lot of those birds will stay there even though the water covers it. And that's kind of interesting. I've got photography and videography that shows the clam beds with the light hitting them from the other direction. Oh, I can see a spot where I can probably get some of that over here. Let me see if I can grab that. Yeah, there it is. And there's quite a bit of current. The tide will be coming in for approximately 4 more hours. So even though the water is moving and there's a lot of current, a few bubbles on it, the reflection and symmetry is breathtaking. And it's so calm that it's easy to see the haze that's in the air. It's the evaporation and condensation that we're looking at. Do you know how much a gallon of water weighs? Well, that depends. It depends on the temperature of the water because the density and volume changes with the temperature. So there's certainly mystery with the world that we live in. What is the truth, and how will you know it when it's right in front of you? When you're looking at the reality of the world that we live in, how will you recognize it? Now, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 says, they refuse to love the truth and so be saved. For this reason, God sends them a powerful delusion. So the proud, self-sufficient type individual is going to be easily deceived, and God is going to help that to happen, as best I can tell. So it's more than a satanic deception. It's actually God is going to help people, the creator of this world, is going to help people believe the lie they apparently want to believe. Now, if I were to be right on out there next to the water, I'd be sinking in the mud, for one. And there's clam shells all around in there. It's easy to get cut up. That's why I'm right here. And I wanted to show you from this vantage point how the reflection looks. So in the view, notice the bit of the circulation that's going on real close to the clam bed, just on the other side of it. There's hydrodynamics, fluid dynamics, aerodynamics. We have buoyancy, the differences in density and mass that cause heavier objects to fall. Some might say that's gravity. I would say, well, that's buoyancy. The magical G in the Masonic logo is the god of gravity, as best I can tell. It's what relatively deceived individuals will hold up as their evidence for why water can stick to a spinning ball. We don't notice that anywhere in reality. We notice that only in fake imagery from space, apparently. That's where it appears. So I would say seeing is believing. What? What do we see? What do we believe about what we see? Can we be tricked? Well, most of the people I've talked to about Santa believed that a jolly old chap was going to take his sleigh pulled by flying reindeer and deliver their presents if they were a good little boy or girl. I was deceived about that. Over 95% of the people I've talked to were as well. So we've got a couple of seagulls out here, zoomed in right now. I think what I'll do too is I'll do what I can to zoom in with the iPhone 10, see what I can come up with on that for you. It's a little bit of a challenge. Yeah, the challenge that I'm having, I can't zoom in on both with both devices. That's the issue with that. But there they are. That's the quickest way for me to zoom out. Good to see y'all. Okay, so now I'm just going to zoom in with the P1000. We can see that that little island that the birds are on is going away. And they're still there, just like I thought they would be. They're in grooming mode. They're not in feeding mode. Preening and getting ready for a big day at the beach. We're expecting about 20 million guests here, or more this year. I'll have to get the numbers. Last year, apparently we had 20 million guests. So there's flat earth meetups all over the face of the earth. It's just a lot of people don't realize that the earth isn't a spinning ball hurling through space. So here it is. Do you feel yourself spinning, wobbling, or gyrating? No, I'm rock solid. I am. We don't have toilet water flying out on people in Australia because of gravity. Well, hello, it's just water seeking its level. It's what it does. It's what it does. So, they're lying. I ain't buying. Who's they? Brady said from HBO. Satan. And then he cut me off. I was part of the deception. Because I was proud and deceived, I didn't know it. So as I move on through humanity now, I'll just kind of move a little more briskly by the people that apparently aren't interested in knowing the truth. They just want to believe the lie they want to believe. So what I've clearly illustrated in this short time of broadcasting is the movement of the sun and the lack of movement of the earth. If I could offer a $1 trillion, I would, for any definite proof of a globe. It can't happen. I'm glad that Eric Dubay and Jay DeCasby stepped up to the plate with 10 grand, actually 50,000 if you can prove both the movement and the curvature. Of course, that's not going to happen because it isn't moving and it isn't a ball. It never has been. The globe exists in the imagination, folks, only. That's the only place that it exists. Oh yeah, how about that? How about that? So, that's not the only thing that's going on. There's a lot more, but wait, there's more. There's geoengineering, weather modification, the drugging of humanity with a false reality and the drugs to make it sound true. So what I'll do is take my Truth Mobile and go driving around Myrtle Beach or wherever, and then I'll help people realize with a YouTube Truth playlist that there's a lot more going on. We have virtually a kaleidoscope of conspiracies that's inundating humanity. We've not only got fake news, we've got fake history and fake people pretending to be a different gender than they are, actually, what they were born. There's not men, women, and I haven't quite decided yet. That's just not right. It's not real. It's a perversion of humanity. Oh, this is cool. I'm zoomed in on a cormorant. They hold their wings open to dry out, like that. So part of what's happening is I will narrate the P1000 and the live broadcast like concurrently. I wouldn't know how to separate it out. And so the live Facebook broadcast is to help drive traffic to my YouTube channel so more people can be aware of the reality that we live in. I appreciate all the cooperation that people provide in sharing this reality with others. So here's my my business card. That's my anytime number. I'll put that down here for the other camera. And then if you just hashtag YouTube Truth, that's how you'll find me. Find my channel. As long as it's up there, I don't know how long it will stay up there, because, you know, although I don't have more dollars to bring to the table, what I have is I'm putting my life on the line, and so do others that realize what we're dealing with. I'm at a very public and disclosed location, very, very easily accessible. Very vulnerable apparently, but I'm not afraid. That's why I say I'm not afraid to live, die, or tell the truth. If you're not prepared to die for what you believe the truth is, then I don't believe you found it yet. On the other hand, for me, I'm good to go. Good to go. And that's why I'll do this. So I want to thank all my friends and family for sharing the powerful, truthful content that much of which is on my channel. Some of it has been removed because the channels that shared the documentaries have been taken down. This is perfect timing. We don't have toilet water flying out on people in Australia because of gravity. Well, hello. It's just water seeking its level. Now we do have another company called Elvis. This is the liquid money company. And wonderful group of team that comes to do this. They'll use a high-powered vacuum to extract the contents. How nice. And the whole Elvis thing, that was part of the neuro-linguistic relationship that I had with, do you feel yourself spinning, wobbling, and gyrating? Thank you very much. That's the whole Elvis thing, and the Elvis